Welcome back, guys. It's Colin with the Sun Pirates TCG, joined today by my co-host Mohammed.
Hola.
And today we have another Gundam video for you guys.
Yeah, Gundam.
So, today we're doing a couple of tier lists. First off, we are doing a tier list on the Gundam beta set for all of the unit cards. And stay tuned as we will do another video tier listing every other card in the beta. So, let's just dive right into it since this is going to be kind of long, I imagine.
A little bit. So the first card we have is the Gundam himself, Mr. RX-78-2. He's a level 4 3-cost unit. He pairs with Amaro Ray. He has Repair 2, which is at the end of the turn. He heals 2 damage, and during pair, all of your units get +1 attack on your turn. But this guy's pretty strong, honestly.
Yeah, really solid. Honestly, it's better than I was originally going to give it credit for when I first read the card.
I agree.
I thought it was just like a very vanilla kind of thing. I'll admit the bigger thing is more so because of his pair with Amuro, that it comes out to be a very efficient monster.
He just pairs very well with a lot of the stronger pilots, and the Repair 2, like, while it doesn't sound like a lot, if he's not dying, he basically just like starts as a 3/6, and that can like snowball very quickly if he just keeps not dying.
Personally, I would put this in S. I don't know if it's new type tier, so new type will leave that for like the absolute best possible unit, but he's pretty good. I would put Grandpa in S tier.
I have no qualms with putting Grandpa in S tier. But yeah, to give a quick breakdown, we have the new type tier, which is like the best of the best, like the strongest card in general. S tier, just a really strong cards. A tier, like good, but more situational. B, the like okay, like deck filler cards. And then my go-to, the bottom of the barrel, Guel Jobber Turk. No foreshadowing on a future video.
Yeah, this the NPC tier, as you would.
All right, for the next unit, we have the Gundam MA form as a level 5 3-cost, and it has one paired with a white-based team pilot, draw a card, and then he links with specifically Amaro Ray again, who is a white-based team pilot. This one's not bad. It's not great, but like draw power is pretty lacking, so like just drawing a card is good. And then again, Amaro Ray is like a strong unit to have a link with.
Amaro is a very strong pilot. It's okay. I wouldn't normally put this on my deck if I had the option, I believe, but
yeah,
it's somewhere in the middle. I would put it in B.
Yeah, I don't think it's good enough to be an A tier unit. It's just like, if the stats were flipped, I think it'd be better. Just like health is so much more important than like attack
Power.
In the game, especially like in the beta where most pilots give 2 attack and 1 health. It's like having more health is better. So I think I agree. I'd put him in the B tier right now, and I'll just go over all the units as we go to them. So next we have the GM. It is a level 2 1-cost unit. It's a 2/2 and it does not link with anything, so it's just it's a 1-mana 2/2. You just can't play it to level 2. Jobber.
I think it's Jobber.
I think it's Jobber. I think it's at least B. Like, it comes down early. It has okay stats.
Its stats really okay though. It doesn't crack the EX base on the first swing.
Yeah, but it does 2 damage back to something that hits it.
It can contest with Zaku. I'll give it that, and it comes out as early as the Zaku. But I don't know. So many things in this game have 3 health. Otherwise,
you know what?
I think it's just so.
That's fair. Having 2 health is
medium.
really bad, but it's a 1-drop. It's not ordered, but it's the top of this tier, if anything.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have the Gundam Aerial Bit On form. Is a level 4 2-cost. It's a 3/4, and it pairs with Suletta Mercury. Doesn't have any other text. Probably B. Like 3/4 is a good stat line. It only costs 2 to play.
Yeah. It's fine. If I was to completely optimize my deck, I probably wouldn't be playing with it, but 3/4 as a stats line is pretty okay. Like, if this is what I had to play out of my beta kit, and I'm just trying to learn the game, or I'm trying to play like in some kind of beta event, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I think
it's a fine card.
No real qualms playing it here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now hear me out. The Demi Trainer. It's a 1/1, level 1, cost 1. It pairs with nothing, and it has blocker. I think this is an S tier card, honestly.
I think this card's in contention for new type, personally. It might be a hot
So
take,
it's like,
but...
just the fact that it's a very cheap blocker, because there's currently, in the beta at least, there is no like damage removal. Like, the only things you can do to interact with this are either rest it, in which case, if you ignore it, it sticks on the board and untaps the next turn, or return it to your opponent's hand, in which case they can play it for a very small cost on the next turn. It's like very, very powerful. Like, it's never just like dead in the water.
Yeah, it's the cheapest blocker. It's arguably the best blocker in the game. It definitely at least S tier. I think that guy really is a contender for new type, though. He's just so useful.
We'll leave him in S tier for now and go from there. All right, moving on. We have the Wing Gundam, the second of the 3 LRs in the beta. He is a level 6 4 cost. He has Breach 5, so when he destroys a unit in combat, he'll deal 5 damage to a card in the opponent's shield area, which includes their base. And he has the ability to attack active enemy level 4 or lower units, which normally you cannot attack an active unit. And he pairs with Hero Yui. So it is pretty reasonably statted. It is the highest level card in the game. It ties for the highest costed card with Ailstrike, but it technically has higher baseline stats. It's good.
I don't think it's as good as people think it is, to be honest with you. It's like, it is the biggest, dumbest thing you can play in the game at the moment, but is it actually more powerful than like the other 2 legend rares?
I think it's stronger than the Gundam in a vacuum.
Yeah. Okay, granted, when you pair it with Hero, it does become a 7/7, which is the single biggest thing in the game that you can make. Like, just raw stats wise.
I'd probably
like,
put it in
good.
S tier, but I don't think I'd put it in contention for new type. Like, the card is very good. It just, like,
I would put in,
its color has weaknesses.
Yeah, I would still put it in S because it's your best payoff in green. But, like, I agree with you. It's like, it's the color in of itself that is kind of what it's victim to, not the card in a vacuum, I suppose.
Moving on, we have the Wing Gundam Bird Mode. This is the next green card. It's a level 3 3 cost, so it takes up your whole turn if you play it on 3. It's a 2/2. It still pairs with Hero Yui, and it has on deploy, place 1 EX resource into your resource zone. So it's basically a ramp attached to a body. The body itself honestly isn't that good. Like, that's kind of the weakness with green in the beta, is the like card advantage is like so important that like losing a card for example, first contact to ramp with no real big payoff isn't really worth it. And then this, while it does still come with a body, the body's stats are just like so weak for what you could be doing on that turn that I'm not sure if it's great.
I think when you're going first to ramp up to Wing Gundam, I think it's still worth playing. It's definitely better than first contact. Spoiler alert. But I think I would still put it in A. Like, for the format,
I think so. I think it's still
it's a strong enough effect.
I think it's a staple green card for the effect. I just think that, again, I think it's a weakness of the color, not a weakness of the card itself.
Yeah.
And again, all of this is just to the beta, not necessarily to like what comes after. This card could very easily be one of the best cards in the game come set 1 if we get a new UE to pair with, or a new card that ramping to it like puts you so far ahead that it's worth playing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that card is potentially a staple in set 1 when we have like a way bigger card pool.
Like, the same can also be said about first contact, as much as we're ragging on it right now. Just in the beta where resource generation is like not really existent and payoff isn't really there, in the color green, it's not worth playing it. Moving on, we have the Maganak. Honestly, I'm going to move this one ahead. This one falls a little further behind, but the Maganak is a level 2 2 cost. It's a 3/2. It doesn't pair with anything. It does, however, combo with the Gundam Sandrock, which is a level 5 3 cost 4/4, and it has on play a Maganak Corp card from your hand. On his own, I think both of these are kind of subpar.
You know the funny thing? I actually think the Maganak in of itself is a higher tier than the Sandrock.
I think I have to agree. It's just for what you could be doing at level 5, the Sandrock's just like being reliant on having a second piece is like so weak.
I would argue the Maganak is for its color. I would put it in A. The 3 power on level 2 is actually like pretty good because it's something that threatens to crack the EX base on its first swing, and 3 power can trade with a decent number of things in the early game.
I think that's fair. I don't like the 2 toughness, but I guess since it comes out early enough, it might be justifiable. I'm fine with putting this in A, and then honestly, while Sandrock has payoff, B is probably the highest I'd put it.
Sandy can probably...
He at least has a pair.
He has a pair, but
it's not
the
a good
not
pair.
Great.
Yeah.
I honestly, I kind of would put him in jobber tier. I think Sandy's pretty bad.
I'm okay with that. I did say B at highest.
It's gonna be. I don't know if that's a hot take to other people watching this, but I think Sandy's pretty bad.
I don't like Sandy very much. Moving on, back on course, we have the Zaku 1 is a level 1 cost for a 1/2 with no other text.
Card's terrible. Put in jobber.
It's bad. It doesn't do enough, man.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
I wish it did.
Now, on the other hand...
Yeah, on the other hand, the Zaku
2.
1's brother, the Zaku 2. This is a level 2 1 cost, so you can't play it until the turn after you could play Zaku 1. It's still a 1/2, but it has on attack, he gets +2 attack. So when he's attacking, he's a 3/2 instead of a 1/2. Honestly, this is really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it cracks the EX base on first swing. Like the Maganak, it trades like 3 power on swing, can trade with quite a few things. I would put it like somewhere between S and A tier, like maybe high A, low S.
I think
it's
agree.
A really strong one drop.
I think it's one of the stronger cards in the beta for its color, but I don't think it's on the level of these cards currently.
Yeah.
Moving on to another contender, in my opinion, for the new type tier is the L Strike, the third and final LR of the beta. Is a level 5 4 cost. It pairs with Kira Yamato. It is 4 attack, 4 health. It has blocker, and it says when paired with a level 4 or higher pilot, choose an enemy unit with 4 or less health and return it to its owner's hand. So I don't really have much to say. It takes a lot of tempo. It pairs with a good pilot. It's a blocker, which is only available in its color. Like, blockers are only currently in the white color, and it's just well statted. S tier or better, in my opinion.
This guy does everything. You pair him with Kira, you bounce one of their dudes, and then use the rush with Kira's ability to shrink a guy and run it over in combat, and more than likely he will survive. Yeah, so you just take out 2 bodies with 1 play.
Even if you like preemptively play him and then pair him with Amaro Ray, you can rest 1 guy, bounce a 2nd guy, and then swing into the rested guy and like clear 2 bodies in 1 turn. It just, because it gets the on pair effect with any pilot. It doesn't have to link specifically with Kira to get the on pair effect, just a level 4 or higher pilot. Moving on, we have a level 4 2 cost 3/3 strike Gundam. It also pairs with Kira, and it has on deploy, draw a card, then discard a card. This card's honestly fine. Just
it's okay.
Being a level 4, you can't play it very quickly to like get your hand fixing, unlike cards like Overflowing Affection. And then the 3/3 stat line isn't great. And then Kira Yamato is like such a strong pilot that you're competing with pairing with like the better Gundams. So it's like, it's honestly probably like a B tier card.
I would agree. I'd put in B. It's fine if you don't have a lot of other cards. Again, if you're working with limited amounts of cards, because obviously people don't have placements of everything because of how hard it is to get your hands on the beta. But I wouldn't be upset to put in my deck.
Again, it's the beta's for fun. There's like the meta we're going to have for it. There's not like official events being run by Bandai for it either. So just have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the level 2 2 cost Strike Dagger. Is a 3/2. It pairs with nothing. It has no other text. Honestly, for its colors, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I would still put it the same as the Maganak though. Like if it's the exact same stat line as Maganak. Yes, Maganak has synergy with Sandrock, but Sandrock's bad anyway. So
yeah, it's just there are better cards for its color. But I think putting it in the same tier as the Maganak is fine. Moving on to the Gun Cannon. It is a level 3 2 cost. It is a 2 attack, 3 health. It has repair 1, so it recovers 1 health at the end of your turn. and it has when paired, choose an enemy unit with 2 or less health rested, and it links with a white base team trait. This unit is insanely powerful. It's very efficiently statted, having 3 toughness. It is basically a 2/4 as long as it lives on its first combat, and then, like similar to the Gundam, it snowballs from there. And then when paired, it rests anything with 2 or less HP. Frankly, it's the reason a lot of the 2 or less HP units are much lower equity.
Yeah, so it took us a little bit of time to kind of come around on this card, and it kind of showed with the price of this card on TCG Player. If you guys are curious, just look this card up on TCG Player right now. It's, as of recording this, it's sitting at like a hot $22 for a rare. Not even the alternate art, just a rare.
So like
$22.
the thing with the card is like it doesn't sound very good to just only rest something with 2 or less HP, but it can rest damage things that are down to 2 HP, and also just playing this early and like resting your opponent's board and then claiming their board is just really strong, because the way the shield system works, where all shields only have 1 health unless you have a base in play, just like removing your opponent's board and like keeping yours lets you take so much tempo by pressuring their shields very quickly. So it's just like can run away with the game very, very early on.
Yeah, and I mean he holds down so many of the lower bodies earlier on. Like he holds down the Zaku 2, which again, like most people play the Zaku 2 as an excellent 1-drop regardless, but this guy just hard counters the Zaku 2, just be able to crash back into it and then heal back the repair damage. And then any pilot that would give it an extra toughness, like let's say Char, Amuro, the hybrid Hayato Kobayashi, to give it that +1 toughness, and then suddenly it's positively trading into the Strike Dagger and the Maganak.
It's just like so efficient.
Yep.
Definitely S tier, maybe even new type tier.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Going on, we have the Unicorn Gundam Unicorn mode. During pair, when it's destroyed, if it was a link unit, you return its paired pilot to its owner's hand, then discard a card. It pairs with Banagher Lynx. It's a 4/3, and it's a level 5 that costs 4. For reference, Banagher Lynx is a level 4 1-cost pilot that when linked with a Gundam, so specifically when you pair him with a Unicorn Gundam, he draws 1 card. It's okay. It lets you recycle your pilot, but like there's not very many unicorns to justify like getting back Banagher. I think in set 1 this card has the potential to be insane, since they've already confirmed we're getting a Unicorn Destroy mode, so a second Unicorn Gundam. So the ability to recycle your Banagher, which will keep digging you into your deck, is very strong. But until then,
I would put it in jobber tier right now. I think for the level, the stats don't quite justify it, and you're not going to consistently see Banisher to link with it. Again, like when I put it at Jobber Turk, it's like a very tentative tier for that card because of everything Mohammed just said.
It's like it's just for 5 total cost between like your Gundam and your pilot. You could just do so much more right now. Moving on, we have the Gun Tank. Is a level 2 1 cost. It's a 1 power 2 health, and it has on deploy, choose 1 rested enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. Funny enough, I think this card is very powerful.
This card's awesome.
So very important to note is there's a lot of units with 1 toughness. When you're trading big LRs, they tend to end up at 1 health a lot. So just not having to trade something into it, just using this Gun Tank to like shoot them down is very strong. And even more notably, the Zaku tokens, which are made by the Char Zaku rare, have 1 health. So just being able to shoot that is very powerful.
Yeah, and the Foul Mail too also makes the same token.
Oh yeah.
Even like against white base, if it's producing a 1/1 token, if that's swung, you can just immediately pop it. There's just so many random board states that you'll find a guy that's rested with exactly 1 HP remaining, and you can just snipe it with Gun Tank. It's really good.
Honestly, at least A tier, maybe S tier.
Yeah, I would put it in high A. It's like up there with the Zaku 2.
I am forced to agree. Moving on, we have the G Fighter. It pairs with a white team base trait. Is a level 3 2 cost. It's a 3 attack 2 toughness, and on play it gives a white base team unit, which includes itself, high maneuvering, which is unblockable pretty much. It cannot be blocked. This unit is like alright, probably B
It's
tier in
okay.
my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. B tier. The biggest thing it has going for it is the white base linking. So Amuro or any of the two hybrid pilots like Kaishiden or Hayato can give this rush. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, not Jobber Turk tier, but not competing with these pretty much.
Yeah.
Going next, we have the Lotto is a level 2 cost for a 2/2. It, unlike the other 2 costs, does link with an Earth Federation trait. It's not great.
I'd rather just straight up have the 3/2 body instead of having the potential to have haste with a link. I would put in Jobber.
I think I'm forced to agree. It's like you don't really want to waste your link on this, since you get to play 2 colors in the in your deck anyway. There's like no reason to play this 2/2 for its link when you could play either of these 3/2s for their like they don't link, but at least they like start off as a base 3/2 and they don't demand a pilot. Moving on, we have the Gundam, the vanilla RX-78. It pairs with a Maru Ray. It's a 3/4. It's a level 4 2 cost. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's like not much to say.
I don't hate it. It's just like the aerial, right?
Yeah, it's like
I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, you can't be mad at it. I'm not gonna be sad if it's in my deck, but like there are better cards you can put in, right? Moving on, we have the Ball. The Ball is a 1-mana 1/1 at level 1. It has on attack, choose one of your units. It recovers 1 HP. Your thoughts, Colin? I think you feel more strongly about this than I do.
I wanna like this card. I really do. Is it Jobber tier or is it B tier? I don't know. It's like because it comes down so early. Like, you can maybe do a thing with it where, like, it'll punch into a shield, I guess. I don't know. You have so many shields, though, compared to, like,
I think I'd put it
other games.
in B tier only because it gives something pseudo repair 1, and then it kind of has taunt.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see
like,
that.
I think it's better that...
It's better than the Zaku,
it's like,
for sure.
It's like Zaku 1, but you choose what has the extra health, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that. I'll play it here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Moving on, we have the Jegan. The Jegan is a level 3 2 cost for a 2/3 that doesn't link, but has if you have 2 or more Earth Federation units in play, its play cost gets reduced by 1 from your hand. So it's if you have 2 or more Earth Federations, it's a level 3 1 cost instead. It's alright. I'd probably still put it in B tier.
Yeah, it doesn't link with anything, so...
I think it's better than these.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, B is fine.
Alright, moving on, we have the Rizel. It's a level 3 2 cost for a 4/3 that does not link. Again, I think this is fine. It's not great, but it's not...
I like this more than the other vanillas, to be fair. Yeah, like we said that health is stronger than power, but because he's a level lower than the vanillas that are 3/4s, he can trade into them, which is pretty cool.
I think that's fair. The fact that he can come down sooner is also a like nice benefit.
Yeah, I put him in like maybe the top of B. I think he's pretty good.
I think I agree with that. Moving on, a card we did mention recently, Char's Zaku 2. So not just a Zaku 2, it's a level 3 2 cost, so it has that same benefit with the coin. It's a 3/2. It links with Char Aznable, and it has during pair when destroyed, deploy a rested Char Zaku 2 token, which is a 3/1 token. Honestly, in a vacuum, this card is very, very strong.
There are a lot of cards like in Hearthstone that are similar to this, that have like Death Rattle, revive a token with basically the same stats. This is what this guy is, except you have to pair a pilot with it. But if it's Char specifically, you give it haste, you get to trade into their big guy, and then get a token after the fact.
Yeah,
this guy's pretty good.
Especially with Char, you become like a 5/3 and unblockable, so they can't even like defend their rested guy, like if they play the Demi Trainer to try and protect it.
Yeah.
I think in terms of like vacuum cards in the beta, this is probably an S tier card.
I think so. I don't know if it's quite as strong as like Gun Cannon, but it's like
it's good.
It's close.
It's
yeah,
very
it's pretty
strong.
good. Yeah.
All right, moving on, we have Rick Dom. My boy Rick, he has Breach 2, so when he kills an enemy unit, he deals 2 damage to something in the enemy's shield area. He's a 3/3 at level 3 for 2 cost. He pairs with nothing. He's fine. His stats are reasonable for a 2-drop.
Yeah, Breach 2 is okay. The fact that it has Breach also lets it combo with pilots like Shang Wufei, so it can become like a 5/4 that's impervious to 3 power dudes during your turn. It's pretty good.
I mean,
honestly,
Breach
I would put
also
it in
just
A.
like actually breaks shields, but like it has an added
Yeah.
bonus of dealing the extra damage if it's a base.
Yeah,
So it's
like he puts on the pressure. Like anything they have with 3 health or lower, he can just trade into and then breach their shield.
I think he's probably A tier. Like he's
Yeah,
reasonable
he's
enough.
pretty good.
Going on, we have the Gelgoog. The Gelgoog is a level 4 2 cost in green for a 4/3 body, and it pairs with the Xeon trait, which currently I believe is just Char, but it's pretty reasonable.
It's worse than resell.
Yeah,
it's like,
the
because
fact
it's
that it
one
comes
level
out
higher.
later, but it can pair, but it's like you
It's
want to
about
pair.
the same. I would put in B. It's okay.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got the Gundam Heavy Arms. It's a level 4 2 cost. It's a 3/4 instead of a 4/3, and during pair it gains Breach 3, and specifically pairs with Troa Barton. Pairing with Troa is not the best since he's not the strongest pilot, but being a 2 cost 3/4, and then just in general when he's paired having Breach is pretty strong.
3/4 level 4 is really solid stat line. It actually matches the vanillas, funny enough. Like you'll see with like the Gundam, the Aerial. I'd put it in A. It's pretty good.
I think
Like,
I agree. Like it's stat wise is really good. It matches the vanillas, but also has more text, so it's like better than the vanillas.
yeah.
And then while you have the option of linking, but just like any pilot will like give him the breach, so you don't have to play the link if you don't want to.
Yep.
Moving on, we have the Wing Gundam. This one is a vanilla level 5 2 cost. It's a 4/3, and then it still pairs with Hero Yui.
This card's so bad.
Yeah, the fact that it's a level 5 is like really weak. Like when you look at the Heavy Arms, it's a level 4 for a 3/4. This is a level 5 for a 4/3. Like, yes, it pairs with a better pilot. Hero is a much better pilot than Troa Barton, but you have to compete with pairing it with both the bird mode to have like an early game advantage, as well as the LR Wing Gundam, which is like your main boss monster, and you want to give it the haste and the bonus stats. So I just think this card's like really bad in its color.
It's just for 4/3 bodies from each color. We're going from the resell to the Gelgoog, which is like 1 level more expensive, and now we're to the Wing Gundam, which is like 1 level even more expensive for the same stats. It's just strictly worse as we get further.
Like, yeah, you could pair it with Hero, so it's like I don't think it's jobber tier. Like, I'd probably put it at like the very bottom of B tier, just because he has the ability to pair with Hero. Like, that's the only saving grace this card has.
I guess, yeah, that's fine, just because Hero's solid, but that's still a tough sell to me.
Like, stat-wise, it's terrible. Like, the fact, like, 2 cost for that body is good. It's just level 5 is not.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the Shenlong Gundam. This Gundam pairs with Chang Wufei. It's a 4/3 at level 4, 4/3 cost. It has Breach 3. So Chang Wufei is very strong in the green Breach deck. So you will be including the same way since it has Breach. But this one's pretty alright. It's not the best stats, but having Breach 3 is pretty reasonable since it can kill the EX space.
Mm-hmm. I would honestly put it the same as Heavy Arms. It's like, the stats are worse than Heavy Arms, but it naturally has to breach instead of Heavy Arms requiring the pair. So, and he trades into most things with the 4 power. I think he's fine.
I think he's reasonable. I just, for the cost, it's not great, but I guess the extra cost just goes towards what you would pay to pair the Heavy Arm. So I guess that's fair.
Right.
You just save on the pilot. Moving on, we have the Perfect Strike Gundam. This is a level 5 3 cost. It has blocker. It's a 4/4. It has on deploy, choose an enemy unit with 1 health, return it to its owner's hand, and it pairs with any Earth Alliance trait. This card's very strong. So just the stat line for a blocker, the fact that it's just like it costs 3 instead of 4, unlike the normal Ale Strike, the ability to bounce a Demi Trainer or a token. This card just like does your taxes. And then Kira Yamato is an Earth Alliance trait.
Honestly, it's like arguably the best rare next to Gun Cannon, in my opinion. This guy's really good. Don't sleep on the 1 health. Like, it sounds kind of situational, but at least in this format, it comes up quite a bit.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely not something to sleep on. Notably, for later, it is a triple ship alliance card. Moving on, we have the Gundam Aerial. This is a level 5 3 cost. If you have 4 more commands in your trash, it gets -2, so it becomes a level 5 1 cost for a 3/3, and it links with Suletta Mercury.
I think this card's bait.
This card is definitely bait right now. Again, this is very tentative to change come the release of the set. But right now, there aren't very many strong commands or ways to get commands into your yard very quickly. So usually by the time you're level 5, this card isn't being discounted. And it's like, if you need to like see multiple of them for the discount to like really be super efficient. Like otherwise, I'd rather just like pay 2 to play like my 3/3 instead of like wait to have the discount and play my 3/3.
I think you said it all. Like, potentially it's a lot better down the line as we get more better commands to combo with this, but right now it's just not efficient enough.
What are you thinking, B or Jobber Turk?
I think it's Jobber. I think it's.
I think I'll really agree. I think it's Jobber Turk.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good enough right now.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have yet another Strike Gundam. The level 4 3 cost Launcher Strike. It's a blocker. It's a 3/4. It pairs with an Earth Alliance trait. Notably, again, Kira Yamato is an Earth Alliance trait. This card's pretty reasonable. I'd probably put it in A tier. It's very efficient for its cost. It comes out at level 4. It pairs with Kira Yamato at level 4. It's just good.
Yeah, it was really solid. I'd put it in A.
Next, the Darabald. It is a level 3 2 cost. So again, it works with a coin. It's a 4/2. It pairs with any Academy trait, so notably Guel Jaturk and Suletta Mercury, and it has on deploy, choose an enemy unit with 1 HP, return it to its owner's hand. Just don't sleep on 1 HP in the beta. This bounces the tokens. It bounces Demi Trainer.
Yeah, this card's really solid. It's kind of like the resell, where 4 power at level 3 lets it trade into a lot of things. Like, for example, the Perfect Strike is a 4/4 without a pair. The other Ale Strike is also a 4/4. RX-78 is a 3/4. It trades to a lot of guys.
Like, notably, if you pair it with Suletta, it becomes like a 5/4, so you can swing into the 3 health guys and live.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty good.
Since Suletta is an Academy trait card, it still gains the haste. So, very solid option. Moving on, we have the Michaelis. This is a level 3 2 cost for a 3/3. Also pairs with an Academy trait, and it has, if you have 4 more commands in your yard, it gets +1 attack, +1 health. It's fine. Again, it's just really hard to put commands in your yard right now, especially by level 3. You're just not likely going to get this thing buffed for quite a while, but it is a level 3 3/3. It's like honestly better than the Aerial since it comes out sooner and for 2 instead of for 3. So I'd probably put it in B tier.
Yeah, I would put it in high B. I feel like if you pull it off, it's really strong. Like, just being a cheap 4/4.
Yeah, it's just like getting the payoff is like...
Getting there's the hard part.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it does at least pair with multiple pilots since it pairs with Academy trait. So it could late game like come up as like a 4/4 with haste. But not as strong as the Darabald, unfortunately. Notably, the next card, the Strike Gundam. This one's a vanilla. It's a 3/4. It's at level 4 for 2 costs, and it pairs with Kira Yamato. It's okay. It's probably another B tier card. I would say B
tier. Just like the other vanilla 3/4s. It's good. That's probably the best of the vanillas, just because it pairs with Kira. But
yeah, I mean the thing is, since it specifically pairs with Kira, it gets haste. But like you could put Kira on anything, and again, he's fighting for so many spots.
Yeah.
And last but not least, for the units, we have the M1 Astray. It is a level 2 2 cost. It is a 2/2. It pairs with nothing. Is a triple ship alliance card, and it says if you have another triple ship alliance, this unit gets +1 attack and blocker. This card is not great. Arguably the worst card
Is that a hot take? I don't think it's that
I don't
hot
think
of a
it's that
take.
hot, man. Like it
I feel
only
bad because
you
it's
have to
like
have a copy of itself or exactly the other Strike Gundam for it to like
perfect strike.
get its bonus stat, but it's
Yeah,
like it doesn't pair with anything.
This might be the worst card in the set, and I feel bad because Astray's like a fan favorite Gundam.
I love the
yeah.
Astray. I hate putting it here, but it's like it's so bad. All right, biggest question though is what do you think is the new type, the strongest of the S tier?
Okay, my vote, just for like the ceiling of what he can accomplish, I think it's the Ailstrike LR.
I was also going to say the Ale Strike, so I think we have a consensus. Again, all of these are like very strong cards, and frankly, almost all of these are in contention for new type. But I think the Ale Strike takes the cake. He just does so much for so little, and he's like so versatile. Like Ale Strike plus a pilot is just like so good at clearing boards and like taking back tempo.
Ailstrike plus Kira is just so much tempo.
But
yeah. So there you have it, guys. There's our tier list for all the units in the beta set. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned as we will get into the next tier list with all the pilots, commands, and bases. So see you then.
Take it easy.